Jesus had several thousand people on his hands who were hungry, and it was suggested, there's not enough. There is a shortage. Our need is greater than our supply. From this, we see that negative thinking never changes. Isn't that interesting? It's always the same. That was about 2,000 years ago. And, we think it's something new now. The Wall Street Journal thinks that this business of shortage is something new. The people who read the newspaper and hear the morning and the afternoon bad news every day, they think that the bad news is new. No, the bad news isn't new. It's the same old. Some of you are not saved, I can tell by the way you're giggling. It's the same old junk. But thank God for the good news, the gospel. And this is what Jesus said when he came, that the Lord has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. And what is this good news, this good spell, this God spell? It is that God is unlimited good. God is unlimited love. In God there is no shortage of any good thing. Say that. So the bad news is nothing new. In this modern day, the negative voice of the world mind is still shouting, there is not enough. There is shortage, this is shortage, that shortage. Our need is greater than our supply. I want you to stand now, and we are going to voice an affirmation to clear all attitudes of shortage out of our consciousness. You're going to find that we teach and preach quite differently here. The sermon is participatory. You participate. You don't just sit down there and I walk the aisles and tickle your ears with feathers. You get involved here. You not only hear the sermon, but you help to preach it, and then you go out and become the sermon. So say with me, I must become the sermon. You see, because in the sermon today, the message that I'm suggesting to you is unlimited good. Say that, unlimited good. And you're not only to hear about this in your ears, you ought to go out and be that sermon. You ought to go out and be unlimited good. You ought to go out and be unlimited love. You ought to go out into the world and be the love of God in action. I am the love of God in action. Let's hear it. I am the goodness of God in action. I am the success of God in action. I am the prosperity of God in action. I am the joy of the Lord in action. I am money in action. Now, you see what I mean when I say I'm not just preaching the message to you. You ought to go out and be the message. And however good a message or sermon may be, it is no good until you become it. You must become the Word. This is a part of what St. John meant in his gospel. When he says of Jesus, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. But that's still not enough. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. And what did the Word say to us? The works that I do, shall you do also. So you see, it's not just enough for Jesus to be a healer, or Jesus to be the Word, or Jesus to be love, or Jesus to be all of these wonderful things that Jesus is. But you must become Jesus. Oh my goodness. I've got something to tell you, good Christians, too. You're not really a Christian until you become Jesus. You're not a Christian until you in thought and word and deed become the Christ, the Son of the living God. You know, we hang that title on us too loosely these days. Yeah, it's quiet in here. I mean, I don't buy this jazz about Jesus is on vacation and we don't know when he's coming back. Paul says, Christ in you, the hope of glory. And I'm going to tell you something. If you don't get busy seeing the Christ in you, you're really not going to see the Christ. You can't see the Christ without until you see the Christ within. You can't see the Christ without until you be the Christ within. Well, so many different subjects at the same time. Now, let's get this word of affirmation. Repeat it after me. God in me is my supply. Therefore, my supply is greater than my need. Now we're going to do the affirmation again, because if I can change your psychology from the idea, do you know why people have lack? Because they have the idea that their need is greater than the supply. I'm going to go over that again. Do you know why people have lack? Because they have the idea that their need is greater than their supply. Now stop and think about it. You have more bills to pay than you've got money to pay. Then you have lack. But if we want to reverse this condition, we first of all have to reverse our thinking. And that's one of the subtle differences in this philosophy here. We teach you that the thing comes from a thought. Whatever it is in your life, whatever condition or circumstance may be in your life, it does not come in and of itself. It comes from a thought in your mind. It comes from a belief. The Bible says, as a man thinks, so is he. Dolores, come here a moment. I heard you reciting that poem by James Allen. Listen to this. I want you to tell it to me again. I want to show you how the Bible and philosophers and poets and many others from time to time express this idea. How does that go?
Mind is the master power.
Mind is the master power.
That molds and makes.
That molds and makes.
And man is mind.
And man is mind.
That evermore takes.
And evermore he takes.
The tool of thought.
The tool of thought.
And shapes what he will.
And shaping what he wills.
Brings forth 1,000 joys.
Brings forth 1,000 joys.
And 1,000 ills.
Or you may bring forth 1,000 ills.
He thinks in secret.
He thinks in secret.
And it comes to pass.
And it comes to pass.
After 1,000 ills, environment is but his looking glass.
Environment, the experience that you're going through, is but the looking glass. And if you want to correct a condition, if you want to correct something, if you look in the looking glass and you don't look like you want to look, what do you do to the looking glass? You change yourself. Now, it's that simple, yet that profound, what life is all about, and yet this is how people miss it. The sociological people try to change social conditions by working only on the level of social conditions. And a part of that is good, but if you do not try to change people's thought process, you cannot change their conditions. Be you transformed by the renewing of your mind is the only formula for change. That's the only way. So environment, conditions, circumstances, that's your looking glass. Remember that from now on. The condition you're in, that's your looking glass that tells you how you've been thinking. And if you don't like it, change yourself, and you'll change the picture in the looking glass. So now we are going to change our thought about supply. And when you change your thought about supply, you will change your experience of supply. Isn't it good to know that? I say, isn't it good to know that? Here we go. God in me is my supply. Therefore, my supply is greater than my need. Now, if I can get you to change your thinking to this idea.